so much for joining us today before the council's work session. I'm Casar, and I'm really proud to represent not only District 4, but a vision for Austin that's inclusive, affordable, and that stands for the progressive values that we've built on. Today, you'll hear from a lot of great speakers about what I think is a really reasonable measure to support accessory dwelling units, ADUs, granny flats, backyard cottages, whatever it is you want to call them. And I know that some of the speakers are going to talk to you about how it promotes intragenerational housing or helps homeowners stay in place and pay for their taxes and their other expenses that are rising, or creates opportunities for renters to live in high opportunity neighborhoods where we are having housing crisis and difficulty for folks to continue living near the central city, only exacerbating traffic. And those are all really important reasons for supporting more accessory dwelling units in this city. But for me, I see this as one small step in a much more important project that we all need to take part in. I think and I believe that we are going to pass this measure on Thursday, and that will be the first step that this 10-1 City Council takes to show our commitment to tackling not only our affordable housing crisis, our attainable housing crisis, but also to tackle the fact that we are sick of being on the list of segregated cities in this country. Before I ran for city council, I really wasn't a land use or a planning person. I was a social justice advocate and continue to be one. But it became so clear to me just after looking and reading a little bit of our land use code and looking at the buildings a little bit more closely around our city that land use and urban planning are social justice issues. You drive up and down I-35 in my district and you can see rows of apartment complexes that have been de-restricted and zoned out of being able to face their neighborhoods and only facing I-35. So you have dozens and dozens of families and children who have been zoned to have their neighborhoods not be the green spaces behind them, not be the quiet neighborhood streets behind them, but for their neighborhoods to be zooming 70-mile-an-hour asphalt and smog. That is unacceptable. And so it starts to become so clear to me that if you say, well, if you want to participate in some of those higher opportunity neighborhoods, if you want to participate in what makes Austin great, you have to be able to put a down payment down on 10,000 square feet worth of dirt in a big house, that is going to continue to segregate and separate our communities. And so it is not only a moral imperative for us to desegregate this city, it's not just something we're going to talk about and advocate for, but we're going to start taking small steps that will lead to bigger steps towards us desegregating this community. Not only is it a moral imperative, but it's a legal one. The Supreme Court of the United States recently ruled that it is our legal duty under the Fair Housing Act to affirmatively further fair housing and dismantle barriers that separate our communities. So the City of Austin conducted and commissioned a study to find out what those barriers to fair housing were. And it was presented to our housing committee, and restrictions that prevent folks from being able to live in backyard cottages were seen as an impediment to fair housing. And this Thursday, we're going to take that first impediment down. Like I said, it is one small step as part of a larger project. And that's why tomorrow I've authored a resolution to bring to Councilmember Renteria's committee to make sure that the Code Next process prioritizes furthering fair housing. And that's really important because for too long the conversation about Code Next and about land rewrite has just been about things that I do support, walkability and having retail that folks can get to closer to neighborhoods, and those things are all important. But those things aren't worth it if they are only for a small number of people in this community. It needs to be for everyone in this community. And so we need to be prioritizing affordability and making sure that our land use rewrite is absolutely about making sure that Austin is a city for everyone. When I think about compact and connected, I think about our futures being connected and tied up. The idea that some people in Austin's future can't be separate from other folks in Austin's future. That our destinies shouldn't be determined by our color of our skin, or where we were born, or how much money our parents made, or what zip code is at the end of our address. But that our destiny should be one as Austin, we should be connected as Austin, and if Code Next isn't a part of that, it's not worth doing. But I think it can be a part of that, and be a really big part of that. And today is our first step in our journey to doing so. So thank you all so very much. I look forward to hearing from the rest of the speakers. I wasn't told who is next, so I'm very excited.